extent of the injuries to Governor Connolly is a closely shrouded secret at the moment.
President Kennedy is dead, Gordon. This is official word.
The president is dead. The president, ladies and gentlemen, is dead at Parkland Hospital in Dallas.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
Italian 1 to Manhattan.
Italian 1.
We just had a plane crash into Level 4 of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area. Engine 1 out of Manhattan.
Engine 1 out.
Engine 1 out, World Trade Center, 1060. Send every available ambulance, everything you got to the World Trade Center now.
That for 1060 has been transmitted for the World Trade Center. 1060 for the World Trade Center.
It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note.
Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror.
When will you be satisfied?
America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world.
The truth is stranger than fiction. The
Green
truth
Street
is
to Manhattan,
stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction.
Into the matrix you will be illuminated. Into the rabbit hole, secrets will be revealed.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
The functions of our government continue without interruption.
This is Pete Wichert live from the Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, and we have a guest joining us, Joe Biggs. Joe, how's it going, brother?
It's going awesome. What's up?
Man, same old, different day. Just that now I have to live in fear because of Ebola myself.
I wouldn't live in fear.
Oh yeah, I mean you were down there. Excuse me, one second. Who the hell's calling me now?
How you going?
Man, this is a horrible day for us.
How's it going, Biggs?
But
long time no talk, man. It's been a while.
You don't have Ebola, do you? I mean, you want to tell our listeners you went to Dallas right when all that happened, and with the press conference. I want to hear like your whole week, bro. Like what'd you guys do? You know.
Once they got the patient in there, I decided to hop in the car and head out there as quickly as possible because why not?
Yeah. You guys got to do it.
It was interesting to hear the CDC and Judge Clay Jenkins, who I think is the biggest idiot in the world.
Yep, I agree.
He's out there. He's like, the shirt I'm wearing right now is the same shirt I wore when I was going in to Thomas Eric Duncan's apartment. I'm fine. I wear the shirt around my family.
When I would drop my daughter off at school.
I'm like, yeah, you deserve Dad of the Week there, asshole.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, you're right. I think there was like they wanted to take someone did a petition to take his kids away, which they should. But
he should have everything taken away from him. He's trying to make He's trying to make some huge political push in his career, and he's trying to act all badass and that he's invincible or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's running around and just endangering people by trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
So he looks like this, political god down the road.
Yeah, you're right. And to be honest with you, like the deputy, was it sheriff that went in there with them? He ended up having to go in quarantine. So
yeah,
that you get what you deserve. And so basically that whole week, how was the atmosphere? Like, was it people, did people care? Or did they believe Obama when he said it wasn't like going to come here? Were they mad? Anything like that? I mean, what was the general population feeling?
I mean, I was one of the first ones to start, like, in all the press conferences to ask the question, why aren't we shutting down flights from West Africa? You know, and I asked that at that press conference. I asked it at a few different ones I've been to, talking about Ebola, and every time I get laughed at by the politicians. They're like, "You silly reporter, you."
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm like, you guys are standing out here and you're talking about how you want to stop Ebola. Well, let's stop all the flights that bring people from a country with Ebola.
Exactly.
That way, if we have a few people here, we can contain that instead of allowing people to continuously fly over like we're doing now.
I agree fully with you.
Dude, I mean, no country. I mean, every other country stopping the flights, like literally.
Even Egypt,
yeah,
right down the road from them.
Yeah.
Stop flights. All these other countries in Africa are going, hold on, maybe we should stop flights. Maybe we should secure the borders so the infection doesn't spread into our country. And they've done it, and they've been successful.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, good old U.S. of A. had decided to leave the airways completely open, the northern border and the southern border.
Yeah. And now we got that incident in Canada. You guys pointed out the southern border and O'Keefe with the northern border. I mean, the hell, it's like free for all here, man. We're like,
yeah, but it's like a month ago. It's all so ridiculous. A month ago, they're like, ISIS will be in Canada in a month. Here it is a month later, and there's supposedly these terrorist actions going on. A guy that has like terrorism ties hits a Canadian soldier with his car, and then now there's the shooting yesterday. The one Canadian soldier and the gunman are dead. I mean, it's just like the worst staged event in the world. And I'm sorry for anybody who died. You know, the soldier. You know, I've spoken to a few Canadian soldiers since yesterday, and you know, my heart goes out to the family that lost someone. But still, at the same time, it just seems like a horrible movie script.
It does, doesn't it? It really does. Like, our government is that like.
It's like watching a horror movie because you already know what's going to happen before you happen because they use the same stupid, corny script every movie.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
You're right. And it's crazy. And then they airdrop weapons to Al Qaeda or ISIS.
This is like the 4th or 5th time they've done that. The first time I did a report on it a few weeks, or it's been about a month ago, I think. And I was like, you know, I've worked with Air Force guys who do a lot of airdrops. And they take pride in what they do. When you're in the military and you've been in there for a long time, you take pride in what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you drop some kind of aid, food, weapon, something like that to somebody, you're going to get within a few yards of your target.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are making these massive missed drops in places that are just way out of the way of where any quote unquote moderate rebel is supposed to be getting this help from. And these guys are just dropping it right in the bad guys' hands. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, if it was that, the Nazis would have won the war then with all the things dropped. But like you said, it's precise. That can't just happen 3 times without it being on purpose. Period.
Yeah.
You know. So then now we have, unfortunately, here at O'Hare, and then what is it, New York, JFK?
Well, New York is Dr. Craig Spencer. He is a doctor with Doctors Without Borders. He returned from Guinea a week ago and self-quarantined himself at his place because he knew that he had been working with Ebola patients in West Africa. There'd be a good chance that possibly he could come down with signs and symptoms, which he has today. He had 103 temperature, and he had some internal problems as well.
Wow.
So this is a doctor who was supposed to be a smart guy who was trained to work with Ebola, and his infinite wisdom decided to go bowling last night and take an Uber car there and back.
Oh, wow.
So now you have this doctor who has 103 temperature today, throwing up whatever, and last night he decides to go bowling. He's sticking his fingers in this ball, throwing it around. Kids, family members go to a bowling alley. That's a popular spot for kids to go. There's no telling who's touched that stuff. You know, walking around, touching rails, that the virus can live for hours once it's outside the body, just on the surface. So this guy is knowingly endangering tons of people. New York City is a very busy place. He was in Brooklyn, and a few hours at a bowling alley, you don't know how many people are going to walk by, touch something,
and then they
touch someone else, and that it's too hard to contain. A month ago, a huge headline on Drudge said, "New York City, get ready," and they were talking about Ebola, and hopefully that's not what they're talking about, because once again, it seems like another bad script. This is a doctor who's supposed to be knowledgeable in Ebola and how to not get it and how to contain it and work with it with other people. And then he comes over and, I think I'm just going to pull myself out of quarantine, that I, knew that there's a possibility I could have it, and I'm going to go bowling. And then I'm going to take an Uber car that many people ride in throughout the day, there and back.
Yeah, you think he would have sense since he put himself in quarantine to not go bowling.
There's not a damn doctor in this world that I've talked to. I've got a lot of family members who are doctors, chiropractors, all that stuff. And it's just like, how could you be that careless? Like, number one, I don't want to die. I don't think any grown man in the world would want to do anything that can endanger his wife, girlfriend, kids, whatever. And that's what this guy's doing. He's knowingly going out. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he should actually be in like some level 3 or 4 biocontainment facility.
Yeah, with handcuffs on.
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing is they're disappearing other people, that have a fever at the airport or something. Did you get any leads on where those people were going when you're down?
We had a whistleblower come on today, a healthcare worker out of Missouri, saying that they were lying about the amount of people, patients and stuff that have it, and that the CDC's covering this up, and now that to so-called, I guess, stop a panic, they're no longer using the term Ebola. So when they call in these patients, they're using like a term, I think it's like A98.4 is what I found. It's like a medical code, and they use that to classify the patients. So they don't have to like show up and say, "Oh, we have an Ebola patient." Everyone flips out.
Yeah.
So it's better to lie, I guess, and not tell people the truth.
Well, yeah, that's what it seems like they don't want to cause panic as their excuse. But
look, I'd rather panic and be informed.
Yeah.
Than someone come up to me like, "Hey, man, sorry, we got to tell you this, but the world's pretty much gone to hell. You're all going to die. Good luck."
Yeah, well, then at least you have time
they call
to
it, but they call it
prepare.
fear mongering when you want to be informed, or when you try to inform people about the truth of what's going on. But that's fear mongering. Meanwhile, they'd rather just have someone pat them on the butt and go, "Hey, buddy, you got Ebola. Sorry, man. I could have told you a few weeks ago, but I didn't want you to get scared. Sorry."
Yeah, I mean, but then when does our government actually care in the first place, So they're acting like if that is the excuse. This is an organized plan. I mean, it really is. I mean, do you think that it's possible that Ebola was actually not originally, but do you think it was mutated because of the government? Do I know? Do you think they, how they worked on Ebola and plenty of how that one case where it infected all the apes they had to kill? Do you think that there's a chance that they personally let this out here?
Well, there's a good chance that happens. I mean, like I said, they obviously don't care about American lives when you send National Guard troops with only 4 hours of training to deal with one of the most deadliest viruses known to man. So you're going to take some kid who's about 18 to 22 years old and throw him in a hazmat suit and be like, "All right, you're going to handle one of the smallest things in the world that's completely deadly, like a drop of this could wipe out an entire village. All right, good luck, buddy. Have fun."
Yeah,
meanwhile, scientists all over the world have to get 80 hours of brutal training to deal with that deadly virus. So that right there says that the government could give a shit less about soldiers.
Yeah, and then why send troops? It seems to me like it was an excuse to invade West Africa. I mean, I don't see. Wouldn't you rather send medical professionals instead of troops?
Well, I guess like I said, they keep saying that returning veterans and military personnel are enemy number one. So if you kill them off, people who are able to fight back, and then you keep the doctors here. Then when the world goes to hell, they can use those guys to create some kind of cure.
You're right. And say they do get sick, there's less resistance. You know?
Exactly.
Wow. That's
I mean, it just seems like more and more it's going to get to that revolution stage where, you know, eventually the people are going to have enough and something's going to happen. Just like with, you know, Egypt and many other countries where people have eventually just said enough is enough. We got to do something.
Wow.
I mean, the more people they can take out of the game before that happens, the better for them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like you said, the vets, they're the ones that they're afraid of the most, because you guys have the training, the balls, you know what I'm saying, and the knowledge to use weapons and tactics. And yeah, why not? Speaking as a globalist, speaking as a scumbag piece of shit like they are, yeah, let's just send them there, do the work, get them sick, bring it back here, and then get the rest of the population sick. And on top of it, we'll just fly in whoever the hell wants to come here with the damn disease that kills, what, 70% of people that come in contact with it. What the fuck? I mean,
well, yeah, they're saying by the end of the year that 1.4 million people should probably have it, and that is General, I think Kelly, he is the general of Southcom, and he did a video statement saying that his biggest fear is that citizens of West Africa will begin, and the reason it's his fear is because it's already started to happen. When he went to the embassy in Costa Rica, he went down there on a trip and was speaking to the ambassador, and the ambassador said, yeah, we've had quite a few people from Liberia and Guinea and Sierra Leone, places like that, that have come into Costa Rica and are moving north, and their goal is to go to New York. Wow. And these guys are, you know, doing whatever they can to get there.
Wow.
So his biggest fear is that there's going to be a huge surge once the outbreak gets bad. They're expecting 1.4 million people to be infected, and then of that, 65% to die, maybe more. So
man,
it's something to look into, to watch out for. And it goes back to, you know, the whole border thing. Like we've been saying for a long time, the border's wide open, and, you know, all these pieces keep, you know,
falling into place.
Falling into place, yeah, you know, and the picture is becoming more and more clear that, you know, it seems like the borders are being left open purposely. You know, this whole ISIS thing, it's just complete and total chaos worldwide right now, and it's definitely a crazy time in history right now. Hopefully, it's something that if I ever have kids one day, I can sit down and laugh and talk about it. But
yeah,
I'm
afraid.
Like one gloomy tragedy after another.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to bring a child into this world right now at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's.
Oh yeah, I don't either. I was just saying.
Like I'd be afraid every day for us going to school, getting the vaccines, you know, fucking just the way society is right now. Like you said, it seems like it's like they're playing this chess game and they're just hitting all the right buttons. They're making the right moves. You know what I'm saying? We're sitting here, most people watching MTV and you know, football and don't give a shit. And I mean, what can we do, Joe, to stop them at least from flying people in, like to stop all flights? I mean, is there anything we could do? Because I'm going to try to do a petition here to at least stop flights from O'Hare and Midway and make sure it gets to the damn governor.
But what's going to hurt them?
What's up?
Stop flying. I mean, I'm willing to stop flying. I'll just start driving everywhere.
Jesse Ventura, like Jesse Ventura. I don't fly. I mean, I pretty much protested that as soon as the TSA was in existence. I've flown like one time, and they pulled my buddy out with a cast on his arm at each airport we went to, thinking he had like drugs or something in it, and we're messing with him for no damn reason whatsoever. Pat Grant. Yeah, and it's like literally they don't do nothing. Now these people are supposed to be in charge of scanning for the virus, and you could take them fucking ibuprofen to lower your fever. So there's going to be people coming here just for the medical care. So you got to add that to that number if you look at that. And that Duncan guy set the precedent.
Yeah, I'm just curious who lied to them and said that our healthcare is really good here.
Well, you know,
because, I mean, in my opinion, They're wasting their freaking time flying over here. I mean, Obamacare sucks ass. But
I
then
agree
again, when you're not,
fully.
but then again, let me rephrase that. My bad. I was wrong. When you're not a citizen, America's a great place. When you're
Yeah.
a citizen,
Yep.
you're a dirtball.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. You couldn't put that any better. Just like with the illegals coming across the border, it's like pretty soon they're going to be the citizens and we're going to be the illegals.
Exactly.
But yeah, actually, Ben, another thing I wanted to ask you too is why do you think and have you heard anything about the Ebola patients in Chicago?
No, I haven't heard anything.
I think it was 2 nights ago. 2 separate flights. One was a child and one was an adult. Came from Africa, and they both were basically taken right away to, one was Rush Hospital, another was a children's hospital.
There's Lutheran, I think. Lutheran General.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe
that's
it
not
Lutheran
even
General.
10 minutes from my
That's
house.
what I believe.
Wow. And basically, I got a email from someone who works at Rush because they heard you're coming on the show, and they wanted me to tell you that basically, bro, there is no signs of any kind of anyone being there. Like, there's no media, there's no police presence like you see in other cases. There's no panic, there's nothing. It almost seemed like the person didn't exist. So I mean, so they told me to just tell you that maybe you might want to look into that case. Because
Yeah, just after this, just shoot me a text with the name of the hospital and I'll start making some calls.
Okay, because yeah, they said that usually, you would probably see news out there, police block. You'd have, people rushing.
Like I said, they're using different codes now to. They're calling them fever travels. They're using different terms. For people who are traveling with a fever, they call them ST fever travel. They're trying to use different codes so no one will know what's going on. And the bad thing is though, they're trying to keep everyone from panicking. And I can understand keeping people from panicking, but at the same time, when you're not telling your employees at your hospital, hey, there's a deadly virus in here, right? And you're not warning these people and giving them the precautions they need to make smart decisions, you're putting a lot of lives in jeopardy, and it's a very dangerous game to play.
Yeah, that's what they basically said, and they said that to thank you for your efforts, and not only as a soldier, but your reporting, and that they're big fans of Infowars, say hi to you, and that they're worried about their employees, they're worried about themselves, their families, and I
was up till midnight last night trying to break an Ebola case. I have family members who work in the medical industry in the Carolinas, in South and North Carolina, and I was contacted and told that there is, without a doubt, an Ebola patient at the Greenville Memorial Hospital in South Carolina. And so I found out yesterday, like around 6 p.m., and I stayed an extra 6 hours at work calling the hospital and just basically harassing the hell out of them. Like, hey guys, if you don't start giving me answers, I want to have the news crews down there, cameras in your face, and I'm going to make you tell me the truth. And that's basically what had happened in Dallas with Thomas Eric Duncan the first time.
Yeah.
People, we had to go in there, harass them.
Thank God for you guys, man. Nice.
But these guys aren't telling me anything. So I got in contact with the governor of South Carolina today, Nikki Haley, and I spoke with one of her aides, and they're trying to find out what's going on. They said they didn't hear anything about that, but then again, they haven't responded back, and neither has the media liaison from the Greenville Memorial Hospital, which, if it's a simple no, we don't have one, then you would come out and say no. Now that they're ducking and dodging my phone calls and ignoring me, makes me believe that they're hiding something and they're trying to script something to tell me when they do release it.
Oh yeah. Otherwise they would be right. I mean, yeah, you're right. They got to have time to get everyone on the same page and then come up with their plan.
Well, it's funny. I called the hospital last night, and it was weird. The one lady, she's like, "You're Joe Biggs from Infowars." I was like, "I don't know how the hell you know that, but all right, cool." And she's like, "There's an Ebola patient here," and I go, "Yeah, that's what I've been told by someone who works directly with that hospital." And she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "No one's told us anything." And she just like flipped out. Wow. And I was like, "Well, don't worry yet." I was like, "But you might want to start asking some questions." I was like, because they're not talking to me anymore. and that's very suspicious. It's like there's been a lot of scares thus far since this whole shindig, began to happen with Ebola, and I've called many hospitals, and quite frankly, 98% of them will go, "That's just crazy. I mean, I don't have any clue what you're talking about," and it would be done with. But then when the only two hospitals, or actually three hospitals that have ducked and dodged. There's one I'm working on in Texas, the one in South Carolina, and then the Dallas Presbyterian Hospital when the first patient was brought in.
Yeah, and I'll
that's
get
a pattern.
those names, and it sounds like a pattern on how they're treating it too, not even telling the employees too. So it sounds like.
It breaks my heart that these corrupt people have worked their way so deep in our government, and that the country that I've literally fought for and could have died for.
Yeah.
If I would have died for something like this and been able to come back from the dead, I'd have been one pissed off guy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, imagine how people who have died and or have been looking down at this world are thinking. Imagine that. I mean, it's like hell. How long we're living on hell on earth, brother. Really, just not even joking. Yeah, and I had another question for you from a fan, and I actually had to tell. That's not a fan. Excuse me. It was a hater. I get a lot of those.
Hater.
A hater. They said that you and Alex Jones are working for the government.
Wow.
And I had to tell them off, bro. I was laying into them in this email, bro. Trust me. But he said he got his information from some guy, Pete Santelli. Have you heard?
Oh, Pete Santilli, that's that douchebag guy that I met in Murrieta, California. And I'll tell you the backstory on this. I have no idea. I mean, I know who he is now. He's nobody.
Oh, that's the guy you're telling us
I know his
about.
name now. He's the guy in Murrieta that was like stalking me and following me the whole time. This is the first night I get to Murrieta, California. Are you there?
Yeah.
First night I get to Murrieta, California, this guy with a freaking iPad, bald dude, retarded looking soul patch, comes and jumps up in my face and goes, "Hey bro, hey man, hey Joe Biggs, Infowars." I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "You know who I am?" I'm like, "I have no clue who you are, dude. You're some creepy guy in the dark with an iPad in my face." Oh, he's like, "Oh, you don't know who I am? Okay, I'm Pete Santilli." And I'm like, "Cool, bro, congratulations, man." I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go do my job and report on what's going on and not sit here and harass people in the dark." So the guy, I think the guy got offended that I didn't know who the hell he was. I guess he doesn't realize that, I've been in the military for so long. I just came into this job, so I have no idea who the hell he is. I never listened to radio. I was always deployed. I didn't have time for that garbage.
Yeah, what the hell is he
thinking? And now that I'm out and I'm trying to make some, some changes in my life and do something good for mankind,
Yeah,
now this guy's like the biggest hater in the world. He made like the corniest video ever the other day saying that he exposed me as some kind of government agent or something.
Yeah,
and
they sent me the link. I didn't even watch it.
All the video is me making fun of him that he has on a Marine Corps top in Army bottoms.
I wonder what set him off. Because it's funny because I remember you were talking about that guy on our show. Actually, you brought it up. I wonder if he listened to the show and got like a little pussy, got offended.
He'll be all right.
I don't give a shit if he is.
I don't care. I love it when people make all these videos. I've had 35 videos made about me in the past week.
Congrats.
Nice.
It's like a badge of honor, man. But I hate
some
these
lady. Some lady said that my Statue of Liberty tattoo on my right forearm was an ISIS tattoo.
What?
And that the American flag is not an American flag; it's a snake. And I'm like, you're the dumbest freaking person in the world. And then she says that it clearly proves that I'm ISIS because I have an Arabic tattoo on my right arm. I do. It's just kafir, and kafir means infidel. And guess what ISIS does? Kills infidel. So I'm a self-hating ISIS person. I'm gonna tattoo kafir on my arm and then kill myself, cut my own fucking head off.
I'm a Nazi Jew. So yeah. No, dude, that's funny too. When you posted the flag of was it the Al Qaeda or ISIS Bin Laden Brigade flag burning?
Yeah.
There's a comment like, "Where do you get the flag?" And
I made it.
That's what I said. I said he probably made it, or maybe I don't know. He might have stole it when they as a troop.
Guess what happened to people back in the day when they needed to cut something? They freaking made it.
Yeah, they were acting like you were.
I don't think the Indians sat around and just waited on arrowheads to fall out of the sky. No, they decided to not be lazy and survive and go out and fucking make some arrowheads so they can stab shit and eat.
You're like me, man. Exactly. Like I hate when I have to check my emails or.
No,
like,
I love it, man. I respond to all of them. I respond
I
to more haters than I do the people who actually are positive, because I love it. And I want to start doing a new segment called Troll of the Week, where like I pick the corniest, stupid person in the world who makes these ridiculous videos, and then just completely hammer on the fact that they're idiotic morons who don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, we'll play your Troll of the Week
Yeah,
video
that
every
sounds
week
sweet,
and
bro.
announce it. But I think
sounds like
Santelli or whatever his name is might be number one, huh? But yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. All these people hating. See, like that's the thing with us, man. We're starting this thing called the Truth Alliance. We got Dan Badandi in it from Infowars. We got Corey Washington. And if you'd like to join, it's just kind of like we're all just promoting each other, sharing each other's work. You know, I basically already do that for you anyway. But you know, it's. These people are the opposite. The only way we're going to get any power back is by uniting as like one voice, not 1,000 different voices talking shit, you know, and that's what makes me sick about these.
Well, it's funny that the Santilli guy says he's like part of the truth movement, but literally all he does is try to spark stuff with other like radio hosts and things like that who do this kind of stuff. And, you know, the whole time we're in Murrieta, I'm like trying to cover the issue, and he's literally trying to pick fights with me the entire time and try to get me to lose my cool and say something, which I'm not going to do.
So
I'm a bigger man than that. But I mean, I'm like, why are you here? And he's like, I'm here to cover the border thing and the illegals coming to. I was like, all right, well, why don't you turn your camera on that, what's going on, and instead of you being creepy and following me around with your iPad.
Dude, fuck him. If he's listening, Pete Santelli, fuck you. I just had to say it, Joe. I'm sorry. I don't like that shit. I consider you a friend. When someone talks shit about my friends,
I mean, I've honestly got no problem with the guy. I could care less. I could forget about the guy, but I don't ever think about him. It's only when someone brings up his name or someone goes, hey, he made another video, and I'm like, all right, so we all together, I'm telling you right now, whenever these guys make these videos or whatever, like we all get together and it's like we get popcorn out and a couple of beers and sit back and have the biggest laugh of our lives.
Oh yeah.
And it's some little kid who doesn't have a job, who's probably like, or actually not even a kid, a lot of times they're like 40-year-old adults who still live in their mom's basement and like have like Cheeto smudges across their forehead and dried up nachos and stuff like all over them. It's pathetic.
Oh man, I love the description you got in your head right there. Cheetos all over.
The guy's got a fucking Hello Kitty t-shirt on or watching fucking what did it call, like animated porn or something
from Japan.
Yeah, Japan porn.
You guys are killing me.
Oh fuck! Oh man, Joe, you're killing me too. And while we're at the fan questions, there's the last one here for you, brother. Joe Biggs, thank you for your service and for coming on Pete's show. I first heard you on this show and caught up with all your work. I'd like to say you're an excellent reporter, and I was wondering if you ever thought about doing your own podcast or joining forces with like Pete or someone like Pete, and I think you guys would be a hell of a team.
One day down the road, I could probably do some stuff like that. For now, I'm really so busy with this show that if I do get some time off, I'm either trying to sleep because I'm so worn out, or shit, I can't even recall a time I really do ever have time off. I'm just going nonstop. Like I said, I got off work yesterday and I went to go have like a beer and grab some dinner, and then I got a tip, and then I just went back to the office. I stayed out there all night, and I had to get up, butt crack of dawn this morning. So I'm so busy with this at this point in time that, yeah, I definitely not able to do that now. But, I definitely enjoy going on different people's radio shows and, just trying to help people out and give them my perspective on stuff from what I see. It's always nice to have a different perspective on situations that are happening.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. And yeah, it's like I agree. I mean, the more you get out there, your perspective is dead on, and you have firsthand knowledge of the combat experience. What, like you brought up that video yesterday about and on our show the first time we talked about like the opium and things like that. And you wake a lot of people up and set an example for other people in the military to do what you're doing. So You're one.
Well, there's a big difference, I think, just with what I do, because I'm just a regular guy, you know, with a loud voice, and I'm very outspoken about stuff. You know, I didn't get a lot of the brainwashing that people, you know, so to say, get when they go to, you know, these schools for journalism. You know, they learn certain ways to do stuff, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. You know, it's just like when someone goes to the military and they're an MP, a military police officer, and then they get out and they want to be a civilian police officer. 9 times out of 10, those civilian cops don't even want to bring them in because they think they know everything already. They'd rather take someone who doesn't know anything at all and then let them kind of come into their own. Mm-hmm. And that's the opportunity I was given, you know, with the Infowars with Alex Jones. And I'm thankful for every day. The fact that just kind of like, all right, they know I don't know what I'm doing. And they just kind of gave me a camera and a microphone and a pen and pad and said, go out and, you know, give us your perspective on what's going on. And, you know, I'm glad I've had the opportunity to do that, and I'm glad it inspires some people.
Dude, you're doing a hell of a job, man. I've been watching Infowars for a while, and I'd say you're by far the best reporter. Hands down. Just because you will take that.
Did you guys see my British models invade the army base?
Yeah.
That's some hard-hitting stuff right there.
Oh yeah, they could invade my fucking army base any day of the week.
But people are like, "Oh my God, this is crazy. There's more important things going on." I'm like, "Look, come on, go back and look a few months back. What's been in the news? Nothing but depressing crap. You know, Russia, Ukraine trying to kill each other. You know, we've got ISIS cutting everyone's head off. You know, our president's a moron. Obamacare is being shoved down everyone's throat. Vaccines, Ebola." I'm like, you know what? Let's do something that is an entertainment story, but at the same time can make people blush, smile, laugh a little bit, and just take their minds off the complete horde madness that's going on right now. You know, some people can see it for what it was, and some people just were like, "This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why would you do that?" And I'm like, come on, dude. Like, look up the word humor and tattoo it on your freaking forehead.
Right? Like, what the heck? I mean, what, they expect you to constantly like be like serious and no fun? You know what I'm saying? They'll drive you nuts if you just study this shit all.
I'm the guy at the office that makes everyone laugh nonstop. I like to joke around all day. I play pranks. I love to have a good time. And when it's time to be serious, I can be serious. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't like to live life so seriously that I'm stressed out and I let it bother me. There's a lot of people who do this work, design work, and they get involved so much that you can see them age like 10 times faster. I mean, look at how the president ages over, you know, going on 8 years. Yeah. He went from looking like a very young guy to a guy who's basically aged 15, 20 years, you know, in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You know, so people have to learn how to have a little bit of fun, sit back and learn to find the humor in situations, and just, you know, life's too short.
Yeah. And it's a good way to get like information out too. Like, I like comedians that are political, because that's like a great way to get information out while having fun at the same time. So you could even do both at once. But like you said, you gotta, you know, have fun while you can. For all we know, the grid could go out tomorrow, or fucking Ebola mutates completely airborne and we're all dead. So enjoy life while you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before I sit up and, you know, stand up and there's blood coming out of my parts and stuff, you know.
Oh, hey, brother, we're praying.
no blood out of the parts.
I'm just joking. I mean, look, the Ebola thing is it's serious because it's a serious disease.
Oh,
you know, it kills people. But at the same time, the humor in it, in a sense, that you have to look at it, is that, you know, our country is just so blatantly just not giving a fuck in any kind of way and letting this happen. Now, I can laugh at it, but still be pissed off. Yeah. And I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my God, they're not stopping flights. Really? Come on. I mean, and I'll just chuckle, like, because it's mind blowing that they could do that.
Dude, you know when I knew you were pissed? When they laughed at you at your question, and I put that comment on your page, and I said good, and I put question mark. You're like, good what? And I was like, question. Sorry, Joe. You know, because you just were fresh out of there, and I don't blame you. I mean, when you have Rick Perry like fucking brushing it off like he did, I thought it was a big, you know, I think it's a big smoke screen in a sense, and that's why I wouldn't doubt if it was made in a, you know, bio lab and let out purposely just to cover up all the scandals. I think like there was another Secret Service scandal right when it, you know, hit America again. I mean, it's one after another, and we're just letting this asshole Obama get away with it, man. It's craziness. Then political correctness is going to have Hillary Clinton next, and we're going to have a lady, and we're not going to be able to say anything because we're feminists. And that brings me into the commercial. Did you see the commercial with the little girls swearing?
No.
Dude, there's a commercial for a feminist group where they're like, I'm not even joking. It's a bunch of 5-year-old girls talk about how they don't have equal opportunities, but every word is a swear word. They're like, I shouldn't have to fuck to make money. If you think fuck's bad, this shit is out of control. And they literally, you could look, I think I saw it on Infowars. Yeah, I talked about it yesterday with Corey Washington and Seth Davis. Yeah, it's like a 3-minute ad of just basically little 5-year-old girls swearing, saying women don't have fair treatment. It's craziness, dude. Craziness. You should check. What's up?
You saw that where again?
I saw it on Fox News. They were reporting on it, but if you type in little girls or feminist commercial swearing girls, little girls swear, you'll find it. It was all over the news. It's absurd, dude. It's like I think Infowars picked it up too. I think, and unless I saw on Fox News,
I'm not positive.
But yeah, I'll send you the video later, brother.
It's awful. We got some new writers now, and they're on the writers are on the TV or the radio side, and I'm on the TV side. So if the article's not up in the very early morning when I get there, I'm so busy during the day chasing leads and harassing these politicians to tell the truth.
Yeah,
I miss a lot of our own stories too.
Yeah, I mean, can you explain what you meant, what you saw in that video yesterday from Canada to the listeners that might not have seen it?
Yeah, so yesterday, you know, the whole incident was happening, and I'm just watching the video, and something told me like, all right, just screenshot everything and capture the videos. So I found a local Canadian channel that was filming everything live. They just had a live stream going. So what I did was, hold on one second.
No problem.
What I did was went back after a lot of the stuff calmed down, and I went back and started watching some footage, and I gave some to my camera guy, Josh, and he caught it. I didn't see it. Josh caught these police officers hiding behind a squad car and then getting up and then sprinting with their assault rifles. One guy had an M4, and the other guy had like a Beretta or some sort.
Huh.
They run across the road, and once they come around the corner of a building, they start smiling and laughing and then put their guns down. So I'm like, all right, there's this huge, you know, quote unquote tragedy going on right now. It was like Godzilla stormed Canada. It was so bad. And, you know, the entire world was just like on halt because of this incident, because nothing ever happens in Canada. And everyone's like, oh my God, pray for Ottawa, pray for Ottawa. And I'm like, all right, if this is this huge bad situation, why are the police officers sitting around joking and laughing about stuff? And I understand, yeah, you know, if you're a seasoned veteran in combat, you can learn to find the humor in things like I can. But when you're a police officer in Canada, and I doubt you see any action, and you're sitting over there running and then acting like you're, you know, you run behind a building and you start snickering and laughing and joking.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like a stage thing to me.
Hey, I just sent you the video on Facebook of the little girls, just to let you know. Swearing.
He wants you to
titled,
watch it.
Potty mouth princesses drop F-bombs for feminists. Yeah. But so yeah, I actually had a similar experience watching Fox. All of a sudden everyone was calm. Then they said there's a, you know how the guy they said at first supposedly went like 5 blocks with the shotgun, got into the like Parliament building. All of a sudden, like everybody was like basically calm, then they ran, and then they were calm like again, and then all of a sudden there's another group that's just walking smiling, and I was like, what? Like I would be running my ass off, you know. So something wasn't right there. So I saw the same thing you seen just on Fox News.
Yeah, I I'm not, like I said, you know, that someone died, you know, and I'm sorry for all of that. But at the same time, you know, it just, the whole thing seemed, it was like one guy, and, you know, there was a retired colonel in the Canadian Army, whatever they're called, on saying that it'd be impossible for one man to carry out all this, to be able to run that distance without being seen and starting this, you know, hysteria outside from the war memorial, and then to get across the street to the Parliament and all that. Like, this guy would have to be like the most in shape man to ever do this.
And where's all the security, man? Like, right?
They don't have guns, because apparently they want it to be a like user-friendly type environment. They want people to feel like they can come to the Parliament without a bunch of people pointing guns at them and have like a touristy experience.
I could see that, you know, that makes sense, but you should always have, you know, your people maybe hiding or in a different room or have weapons hiding somewhere in case of some, you know, crazy shit. You know, that's kind of in a sense suicidal, but that is their first incident. And guess what? Now that we have terrorism in Canada, do you think that could be justification for the, you know, this whole North American Union? They need America to help fight the terrorists.
I don't think this is a big enough incident for anything to really happen. It's pretty isolated and small.
And they still haven't caught the other guy, though, bro. You never know. I don't think it's over, really, personally. And especially with the testimony of the Border Patrol, they're probably going to do that here, too. I think that their method is going to be random assassinations, just because that makes you just as scared as like blowing up a plane, because you know, it could be anybody, and then that puts fear in the public. So in my opinion, I think that's what they're gonna.
Well, that's how people win, like the bad guys, quote unquote. I mean, that's how they win, is, you know, incite fear in everybody, so everyone lives in this fear, like this cage where they're afraid to leave and to do anything like that. That's what the elite people want. They want you to stay inside and watch the TV and eat your GMO food and play on your handheld telescreen devices from 1984 and just listen to all their public service announcements and do what they want and live in fear and not go out and do anything. Just
sit
at home and get on eBay and consume until you're fat and you die of a heart attack at 30.
Man, Joe, you're a racist. You know that? You're just, I swear. But,
I'm a racist, a womanizer. I'm just an asshole.
Racist, womanizer, asshole, working for the government.
All the above.
I mean, dude, I couldn't believe like when I saw that.
Oh yeah, like I'm working for the government. Okay.
Yeah, mean, don't forget you're a mole.
I must be a robot. And I don't have to freaking sleep or something.
You're constantly on the job, man. You and Alex Jones apparently too. He's running a show, running a business, and
that was hilarious. I mean, apparently, like I think Leanne McAdoo, she's KGB.
Oh God.
So was Darren McBreen. Some of the other guys are CIA.
What?
People. We got some Stratford employees apparently. It's just amazing.
Alex Jones is Bill Hicks.
We've got some talented Infowars, I guess.
Bill Hicks. Have you heard that one? Alex Jones, people keep saying is Bill Hicks. There's all these videos on YouTube. I don't even waste my time with them, man. But
I don't see how people make these connections and see this stuff. I mean, they must be on LSD all the time.
Yeah, you know what? It's something. I mean, honest to God, something. Or the fact of the matter is they literally have nothing else to do, so they're trying to attack someone big to get themselves big, not realizing it just looks the only thing big.
Yeah,
they're a big idiot.
Government shield or some crap like that. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah, no, they got those bots too, you know, that just like fucking like start attacking you like that are like on Facebook Messenger and stuff like that put up negative.
I'm gonna go out and buy an earpiece and just walk around with one in my ear all the time so they can play into that, and I'll get me a black suit and
talking
put the
to
CIA logo on my Twitter page or something.
Start talking in your sleeve all the time. And
whenever I see someone that like looks at me, I'll just start talking into my arm.
Dude, I might as well give them something to laugh about, huh? But yeah, man.
Oh, they won't laugh. They'll have a heart attack and be like, "Oh my God, I knew it."
Yeah, and guess what, Joe? There goes views for you, brother, and then your real information will get out there more too. You know, I mean, if you play along with it, fucking Halloween's coming up.
Somebody said that I was a secret government agent, and that my job was to infiltrate Infowars. And if infiltrate would mean that I would have to have asked for the job. Alex asked me if I would work there, so there debunks that part. But then I'm supposed to infiltrate Infowars and then turn on him and kill him. And that's what the government's paying you to do, apparently.
Has he had previously had you on as a guest, like 3-4 times, and then Oh yeah. So people, do your research before you talk.
No,
shit.
I love the trolls, man. The trolls are fun. The trolls are a hilarious thing.
Most definitely.
If I'm bored and I'm down and I need a pick me up, I just start reading YouTube comments and I always get a good kick out of it.
It makes me go up and hit my heavy bag and wish that was somebody else. I get the alien community after me. Have you guys ever gotten any attacks or not, like believing, like when you did debunking that UFO video, didn't you get attacked by the alien community? Because they're evil, bro. They're ruthless.
There's an alien community?
Yeah, dude. They harassed me on the show the first couple episodes.
What, do they only come out of their rooms during Comic-Con or something?
I have no idea, but somebody just brought up that to their knowledge, and they were in Black Ops, that there's no aliens and this and that. And I had organized 30 people protest saying the same thing to me, email me at the same time, talking all this crap. And I responded to a bunch of comments on a video of Brian Forrester, who's on the History Channel, and he was on Ancient Aliens. They took his research basically on how the pyramids are older and other ancient megalithics basically were built with some kind of electric tools or something that we would have trouble doing today. But he doesn't think it's aliens. He thinks the people are a lot smarter. So after I did that show, which was one of my biggest shows as far as views, all of a sudden since then I've been attacked like you wouldn't believe, because I guess it hit the ancient alien theorist community pretty hard. I guess they got.
Oh, if they got a problem with it, let them get abducted and they get hit hard again, get probed.
Yeah, that's probably our government abducting them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And then
probably just too much tequila and then bad memories with Uncle Bob.
I mean, sure, there's people that see stuff, but damn well there's classified aircraft we don't know about. There's tons of shit that we don't know about. So I just ask them always, what makes an alien? And they could never. Why aren't you looking up in the sky, you fucking dumbass? Was one of the questions.
What?
Don't you ever fucking look up in the sky? And I said, why do you always fucking look up in the sky? Don't you have anything better?
Why don't you look up at the sky and then stand on a railroad track?
Yeah, I should have said that.
That's a good one.
I said I'll glue your lips to your eyes and make you watch your mouth or something like that. I was just pissed, dude. I had it. And I said, Pete Wichert's harder to beat than a dope case. So just leave me alone. But yeah, no, I'm telling you, you should be thankful these people don't harass you, man.
You have a fan club right there.
like our first 3 shows, right, John? There's a guy calling in with a British accent about aliens nonstop.
That was crazy.
So I'm at the point where if there were aliens, I hate them. And I don't even believe in it. But I know you don't have much more time. You got about 4 or 5 minutes with us. What time is it, Joe?
Yeah.
Any final points you would like to bring up? Anything you're working on that tease
I
us
really want
with?
to start I'm really thinking about boycotting Uber.
Really?
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why, because they just started Uber Health, and what they do is they bring a registered nurse to your home to give you flu inoculations.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
So Uber is a $15 billion company, and it's happened pretty fast.
Wow!
Because people like Goldman Sachs and all that are paying into it and making these guys billions. But now they want to turn their trendy cab company into a vaccination,
a mobile vaccination.
Wow.
Mobile vaccination thing.
And then
that's ridiculous.
If you think about CVS and Walgreens giving flu shots out for free, when does a major company give anything for free? Okay, so do you think that they care about us that much that Uber has a mobile vaccine clinic and free shots everywhere? There, you know, people wake up, man. There's something behind it. I mean,
Shit never ends, man. I swear.
obviously the mercury, the cancer.
Well, all these cab companies are trying to sue Uber, but Uber, like I said, has $15 billion. So they're not going to win in any lawsuit whatsoever. They have more money. They'll win. Uber will beat them.
I always thought that they were
one of the CEOs of Uber came out and said that he wants to get to a point where no one has personal vehicles anymore. And we know that the Obama administration is trying to push for this tax by the mile when you drive.
The black box.
So what's going to happen is they raise these taxes. You're no longer able to afford these your own car. Then you have to use an Uber or these driverless cars. And then think about a driverless car. That's a cage. That's a jail cell. What if you're delinquent on some kind of payment, and then all of a sudden the car stops, locks the door, you can't get out, and then notifies the authorities, and you're getting pulled over, or you're already pulled over, but they come over and grab you.
What if there's a computer malfunction? You drive off a fucking cliff. You know, sharp left. Boom.
I'm not going in a car with no one in there driving.
I mean, it's Alex Jones predicted that years and years ago, you know that, and it's coming true. They're talking about like by like 2025, every car they want or something like that, which is going to drive itself. And then they're talking, like you said, with the DARPA invented, I think, those black boxes. They want to force you to have them, and even if you have an older car, you have to get it and put it in your car, otherwise you get fined. So I mean, now, like you said, I mean, pretty soon, what are they going to need humans for in general?
Yeah, but I'm not driving a car without a human. I'm sorry.
You're not driving the car anyway.
I'm not going nowhere though without no human.
In conclusion too, brother, again, thanks for coming on, but keep up the good work. You're doing a hell of a job. I just wanted to ask you to elaborate on one thing. Was there anything breaking about that opium video you did on the nightly news yesterday?
Well, what's going on is our company has dropped around $7 billion the past few years to help stop the growth of opium production in Afghanistan, and instead the production has skyrocketed and quadrupled. So in 2001, that's when we didn't really have any kind of Western presence. The Taliban was at their highest strength, and there was hardly any opium production. They stopped that. And then once we surged in, the production skyrocketed. And in 2013, it put Afghanistan as 90% of the opium in the world comes from Afghanistan now since 2013. And our country has their hands all in it, you know. And in the video, I recount multiple missions where I would go out with OGA, which is other government agencies, and we would go on these missions to these opium fields and get out, and these like secret agent guys would get out and go speak to the farmers of that opium field. And basically, I guess they would be like, all right, are you going to play ball with the U.S. government or not? Because sometimes they would come back and tell us to destroy the field. And then sometimes they would come back and say, all right, just set up a perimeter and guard this, make sure no one screws with it. So the country definitely has a lot of money to make. I mean, you got to think 90% of the opiums come from Afghanistan. People's lives all over the world, in Europe, people, you know, heroin addiction is through the roof. I heard a report that in
painkillers are made with it.
What is it? Not Oregon, but on the other side, Vermont. Vermont has a huge heroin addiction. You know, you got people who are addicted to painkillers. You know, all kinds of different stuff, and it destroys people's lives, livers, all this stuff at an early age. You know, there's soldiers who get addicted to them while they're overseas, because even when I was deployed, they were shoving Percocet down our throats and giving us 50 tablets a week.
Yeah, and they
told us they would do that because in case we got shot or blown up, we wouldn't feel anything.
Yeah, I remember.
So I had a lot of my fellow soldiers would come back completely addicted to them, and one of them was so bad that when they told him he couldn't take it anymore because they were going to start doing piss tests again, he decided to shoot himself in the leg with a handgun so he could go to the hospital and get prescribed painkillers again because he was so addicted to them. because the government got them on it.
Yeah, I remember you were saying
And
that
instead,
the
they gave them
first time.
Tylenol 3s and pat them on the back and say, "Suck it up, buddy."
The Tylenol 3s don't even help me when I have a major operation at the dentist, man. But yeah, no, I got to admit it. You said that the first time we ever spoke, and I brought that up to people, you know, and I often bring you up like, you know, hey, yeah, no, you should check my show out, and they ask, you know, what it's about. And I bring up, you know, like you a lot and some of the stories, you know, you said, and you shared that with us. And when I tell people that, their jaws drop, but they believe me. And then they end up watching and hearing it, and they go, that, thank God someone like that is talking. But why is our army doing that? Did they invade Afghanistan for that? And I said, yeah, I think maybe that had something to do with it.
You know, the only reason we ever had to go into Iraq was because Saddam Hussein, number one, threatened W's daddy.
Yep.
And then number two, Saddam Hussein decided to no longer use the American dollar for the petrodollar and instead use and switch to the euro, much like Iran did a while back, which is why we've hated Iran
and nationalized
really
the oil
for a long time. So Iraq was all about oil.
Yep.
Regardless. But after 9/11, we decided to go after oil money. And instead, the real fight was in Afghanistan. And once we got in Afghanistan, we're like, oh my God, we can make a lot more money here.
Yep.
All this opium. Hell yeah.
And lithium, too. They found so many lithium veins. And if listeners don't know, that's in like your computer, cell phone. I mean, so yeah, that could have been the major factors, you know. Granted, the Taliban didn't control a lot of the area, though, there, right? Joe? The Taliban did control a lot of that area, but I mean, did they directly even have a role in the attacks? Are they separate from Al Qaeda, the Taliban?
The Taliban, it's all the same thing. I mean, Taliban, Al Qaeda, it's all the same.
So basically,
Taliban
you guys were working with them.
An old school traditional group. Al Qaeda is the more like what Bin Laden started, but you know, Osama bin Laden, you know, had close ties with the Taliban, and they kind of forged a group together, and the Taliban turned more into Al Qaeda, but the Taliban was there first.
Okay. I always wondered that. So basically, you guys were guarding the Taliban's opium field.
Well, once the Western, you know, the troops got in there, the government,
the coalition forces.
Once we got over there, they started making deals with the Taliban, saying, all right, you know, let's work out a deal here. Stop destroying those fields, because like I said, in 2001, when the Taliban was at their most powerful in Afghanistan, opium production was very low. And then once we went in there, I think we kind of used them as like pimps, like drug dealers and stuff like that. We had them, or not drug dealers, but had them to be like the chefs, the cooks, and started working close with the Taliban, because we were funding and training the Taliban back during the Afghan-Soviet war when Mikhail Gorbachev was there.
Yep.
So I think they use them to help, you know, bully these farmers into, you know, boosting this production up so they can make some money. And I'm sure that, you know, the Taliban's making money off the deal, and, you know, our country's definitely making a lot of money off of it. We're never going to see it, but, you know,
wow,
heroin, the sales in heroin are so high. Meanwhile, our country's like, you know, $1 trillion in debt.
Nah.
So where's all this money going?
Yeah, and the taxes, think about that, you know. I mean, we're getting raped. There's no way around it. And the only way to stop it is to speak up and fucking get pissed and to be active and to actually, you know, listen to people like Joe Biggs. Follow Infowars.com. Follow The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Stay, you know, in tune with reality and realize that if everyone's tax dollars went to the homeless, we would have no homelessness. If our government even used the drug money that the profits from it on the homeless people, there'd be no homelessness. So you got to think about it, people. We're getting raped here. But Joe, I know you're a busy man, and I appreciate you coming on again, and you're always welcome. And I'm sure we're gonna invite you on again in the near future. But I love you, brother. Keep up the damn good work. You're a hell of a fucking person, hell of a man, hell of a reporter. And you guys at Infowars, man, I don't know what the hell we would be doing as far as getting information and news accurately without you guys. So I thank you very much for coming on and for everything you do, bro.
I appreciate it, man. You guys have a good rest.
Hey,
Thank you,
guys
brother.
keep up the good work as well, too, man. You guys are kicking ass.
Thank you,
thank
brother.
you, Joe, man. You couldn't do without you, man. Thank you.
Take it easy,
All right,
Joe.
man. Keep it up.
All right, brother.
All right.
See you.
Later, guys.
That it was Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, but now he goes by Joe Biggs.
Joe Biggs.
Because you know what? He is Joe Biggs. He's made a name for himself as a
Oh, yeah.
reporter. I'm not even just saying this because he comes on our show, and but Dondi, you could say, is a reporter. He's a good one. He's a great reporter too. And him and Biggs, I think, have the most balls, and will push that limit. Will do the extra, ask that question that some people are afraid to, hop that fence.
Yeah, I like Biggs because he'll go over and beyond.
Get detained 10 times.
Over and beyond, and he doesn't care. He doesn't fear, That's the thing about him. That's why I give him props. You know?
How many times did he get arrested, like when he came on the show the first 4 times?
No, I know. And it's like nothing to him.
I mean, it was crazy, dude. It was crazy.
That's why I give him props, honestly.
I mean, honestly, without Joe Biggs on Infowars.com, I mean, what the heck? We would all be brainwashed.
Like I said, he goes over and beyond of what he had,
Look at Ferguson. He got shot with rubber bullets, pepper sprayed numerous nights in a row, and kept coming back and was in the front lines in between the cops and the people that were protesting.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
You know many people that would like to be in that situation.
Well, most of the people wouldn't do that. That's the thing.
Do you know anyone that would go to Dallas right when Ebola is breaking out?
Exactly.
Just to get the information out there. Do you know anyone that would cross the border with the fake chopped off head to do the ISIS bucket challenge for to point out how easy it is to get across? No, not many people. Not many people would, and Joe Biggs does that.
Well, that's why I think he is making a name for himself from from the start to now. He's grown.
Yeah,
he's grown big time,
and he's gonna keep getting better.
Which is
a scary thing. Because he's already great.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's amazing. It's just whatever he's going to do from here on, he's still going to grow. It's Joe Biggs. I mean, he's making a name for himself, honestly.
You know how they make those jokes about like Chuck Norris and stuff like that?
Yeah.
He just replaced Chuck Norris with Joe Biggs.
Chuck Norris, you're down. Joe Biggs, you're in.
But I swear, man, that guy is a man's man, and I can't say enough about him. He's a friend to me. He's honest to God. I mean, when we just started out, we had Sean Stone as our first guest.
Yep.
And then we had Dwight Magnum and Joe Biggs. And since then, I have to say I have a great friend who is not only a great friend, a great reporter, and a great human being, And it's an honor that I had that relationship with them. It's an honor that I could, go on Facebook or send them a text message. Hey, Joe, what do you think about this? But I got to admit, the guy is a great guy. So for people like Pete Santelli,
he can fuck off.
You can fuck yourself, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that we try to limit our swearing,
but
when you stick up, or we're gonna stick up for our friend.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got a problem? Why don't you come address it to our face?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You want to talk about us? We're not big enough yet for you to talk about. You're not big enough yet for us to talk about you, motherfucker.
We ain't gonna sugarcoat this. We're not gonna sugarcoat this one bit, honestly.
I think it sounds like you're the government agent, motherfucker, and I'm not gonna even say much because I don't know you.
He's a weirdo, bro.
Shut the fuck up.
He's a weirdo, man. That's all.
And if I find you in my turf in Chicago,
come Chicago.
You're getting jacked,
Chicago.
You're getting jacked in the face. And welcome to Chi-Town.
Come to Six Corners. Come
to Six Corners. We'll invite you live in the studio. We just can't promise you'll make it out on a broken nose.
You just won't make it out at all.
That's how we roll. And so on that note,
I love it.
we're gonna play some of Joe's reports.
Awesome.
You know?
Awesome.
And hey, Danny, which ones did I give you again?
You gave me liberals sign petition to bring
That's a great
Ebola
one.
patients into the U.S.
Okay.
And soldier admits to helping grow opium.
Okay. Well,
And Canada police caught staging false flag.
we'll roll with the first two, like originally planned, because we went over with the police.
Right.
And
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right. Well, this is Pete Wichert and Johnny B. Good.
Oh,
Back on the
wow. Yeah,
screen,
buddy.
dang.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is Thursday, October 23rd of the year 2014. And from here on out, we'll have open phones. So after the break, call in at 1-773-657-3341. This is Pete Wichert signing out. Hold on there. We'll be back in less than 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com at the University of Texas, Austin. Now, came out here to the campus today. I wanted to ask people if they would sign my Ebola Equality Act of 2014. Now, what this states is that we are going to allow symptomatic, non-symptomatic Ebola patients to come in from West Africa into our country and then give them the free reign to move around and do whatever they want. We leave our borders wide open. We let everybody come in and get taken care of. You know, we don't like to take care of the veterans or anything like that. That's just ridiculous. But let's bring these Ebola patients in, and you know, there's not going to be an outbreak because Obama says there's not, or Ebola, and then the CDC director says there's zero chance that this is going to get out of control. So you know what? Let's see how many people actually agree with these puppets, with these global elitists who actually think that nothing's going to happen. Let's see how many people are, I don't want to say dumb, but willing to actually sign this and allow Ebola to come into our country. Let's go check it out. Well, this is the Ebola Equality Act. What it's going to do is allow us to fly in patients with Ebola. So what this does is we're going to allow them just to get on the plane, symptomatic or not, fly on over. It'll be commercial airline. You know, CDC says you're not going to get it. It's not airborne, so you're fine. You know, a lot of people out here are being racist, saying that we should just like shut down flights and not allow people to come in here to our country with Ebola. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous, right? We have better medical facilities, don't we?
Yeah, that's true.
Can you believe all these people that say we should just stop flights from West Africa? And
yeah, I think it's insane. I mean, I get their concerns and everything, but
I mean, the CDC knows exactly what they're doing, right?
right. And I also think it might be very racialized.
Hold on, I don't want to touch that yet. I gotta sanitize my hands. Never be too careful, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know where anybody's been around here. All right, thanks. And we can get them some football tickets, baseball tickets, hang out. There's still people that deserve to be taken care of. That's what Obamacare is for. We're going to leave the southern borders open too, if they want to, you know, take a flight to, you know, Costa Rica and then travel up through Mexico and come in. They can come in that way. There's no one watching anyways. President Obama says you'll be fine, so there's nothing to worry about.
No, I know. I'm a nurse. I'm
Okay.
studying nursing, so that's why I'm like, yeah.
Bring people with Ebola over here?
All right, why does it seem shocking?
I think I'll pass. Thank
You don't want to bring Ebola to the country? No. Our president does. Come on. The CDC says it's fine. People with Ebola deserve to live. Come on. Look, we're going to bring them into the country, fly them over, get them health care. Come on. Excuse me, do you want to help save lives in West Africa? No one cares. We're a bunch of racists. Oh, and if you initial here, that's just agreeing that you'll, you know, take one of the patients in and help them out.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
You're going to initial. Well, hold that real quick. Nick, can never be too careful with this Ebola stuff going around.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thanks.
There you go, man.
Have a good one.
So if we don't want to be a host, do we like not initial?
Yeah, if you don't want to let an Ebola patient live with you, then just don't initial. There's a lot of people who do, though.
Okay.
But I mean, then again, if you don't want to die, I mean, that's safe to say, yeah. And just make sure you guys wear masks and stuff. No one else has gotten it with all the equipment on, right? Oh, never mind, those nurses did. Yeah, it's, who knows, maybe our government is crazy.
So this is have people come over here to be cured, or?
Yeah, to bring them into our country so they can live a normal life. Yeah. I don't want any more people to die of Ebola, do you? No. There's lots of people dying, bleeding out of their eyes and ears and mouth, and it's horrible. But I mean, we'll bring them here to the country if they're symptomatic or not. We can get them sporting events tickets, hang out, let them move freely, have fun. will reunite them with their families to be administered to a hospital to receive the best treatment in the world. We've got Obamacare. That takes care of everything. That's free. So come on. Help save some lives. The more Ebola patients we bring into America, the better. Don't you guys agree? Yeah. To receive medical care and reunite with their families if they have some, you know, like
So
what Thomas
you want
said.
them to be able to come here?
Yeah, let's bring them in. Obama says it's fine. The CDC says it's fine.
Bullshit.
Oh, you think so?
No, yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on. I got to put my hand sanitizer on there. I don't know where you guys have been either.
Yeah.
Can never be too careful. All right, good. I don't have Ebola then. All right. Well, let's take care of the ones who do and bring them here and let them have fun. Open up the borders. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good Ebola day. The ones who survive got blood transfusions, though. But the ones who keep getting these experimental drugs die. But, you know, President Obama and CDC knows best. It's not like they've ever intentionally done stuff to harm us, like push vaccines or anything. Cool. Make sure you get your flu shot, too.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's racist. All these Republicans, all these people are saying that we should shut down flights from West Africa and not let them come in. Don't you think that's pretty ridiculous?
No, it's like I saw this news where they rejected a kid from college because he's from over there and he might have Ebola, and it's like he's smart and he's studying. Why are you going to stop him from that? That's retarded.
Let's let them all over here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and if you initialed here at the end, that's saying that you'll host an Ebola patient. You'll let them come over and hang out. You take care of them, read them stories, you know. Oh, cool. Thanks. We'll get a hold of you guys when we bring the Ebola patients in. As you can see, I just spoke to about 30 people, and the most disturbing part of this is out of 30 people, I was able to get 17 signatures, an entire full clipboard in less than an hour. These are the youth that are supposed to be going to college and taking on positions to help further our country. And this just blows my mind. And now check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people. 11 people out of 17. Initial at the end, where I don't know if you remember at the beginning, I said if you initial at the end, you allow a symptomatic Ebola patient to come live at your home. 11 people said yes to that. You know, some people came by and looked at me and said, are you crazy? Our government's out of their mind. Some people just laughed when I was sitting out there saying, hey, let's bring Ebola into the country. Come on, don't be racist. You know, but there's still 17 people who are one day are going to become doctors, because some of the people who signed this said they were in nursing school. Some were going to be doctors. This is why the CDC is messed up as it is. We have a bunch of people in there who have no idea what they're doing, and they're putting American lives at risk. This is mind-blowing.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the Infowar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from Infowars Life.
I'm Joe Biggs with a special report for Infowars.com. Now, we just had a recent report put up by NBC News stating Afghan opium poppies hit record high despite $7 billion U.S. campaign. According to SIGAR's report, the value of the opium produced in Afghanistan reached $3 billion in 2013. That was a 50% increase from 2012. So there's definitely a lot more production of opium going on in Afghanistan. And as you can see on this map over here, all of Afghanistan is in some way involved in the production of opium. The ones in the red you can see are the most right now. That's on the border of Iran over here. and Farah. And then over to the right, you've got Kabul right here on the Pakistan border. Those areas have gone up a lot in production. I was in the Coast Province just below that in the green right there. Production has decreased, and it's for a reason, because those guys are a lot more traditional. They are tribal leaders who are very anti-Taliban, very anti-Western in any kind of way. So when we would go in and ask them, basically, not me personally, but the higher powers that be, when they would go in and speak and ask these guys if they were willing to play ball, and they say no, their crops would be completely burnt down or destroyed in some kind of manner. So the ones who are willing to play ball are the ones who are going to have their production go up, like there over here in Kabul as well. I've got some stories, personal stories as well, from being in Afghanistan, where we would be called out on these missions and be told not to ask any questions. We would have these OGA or other government agency type guys, full beard, decked out in all the coolest combat gear you can think of, and these guys would get put into our Humvees, and we would have to take them out on these missions. One of the days I remember very clearly is pulling up to an opium field, and these guys getting out and going to speak to the farmer. And meanwhile, we're sitting out here in our Humvees, manning 50 cals, trying to pull security for an opium field, and then sometimes you would see these OGA guys coming back saying, hey, destroy it all. Or sometimes they would say, all right, let's set up a perimeter and guard this. And those are the guys, that I assume that were willing to play ball with the Western countries and allow us to, do some kind of drug deal with that. We know our government's done that before.
In western Kandahar, poppy farmers score, till, harvest their crop, and the Americans do nothing to stop them.
I'll start pushing slow. Assalamu alaikum. I know that you care deeply about this contradiction, the fact that here you have one of the best fighting forces in the world ever mounted, and in a sense, you're watching as this opium is being grown. I know it grinds at your gut. How do you deal with it? What are you doing about it?
Well, frankly, this is a part of their culture. So while it might grind in my gut, it's what they do.
We just saw the new movie, Kill the Messenger, that came out, where Gary Webb exposes how the CIA was bringing cocaine in and using Freeway Ricky Ross to, deal those drugs out into California. And there was this huge, crack cocaine epidemic that happened back then. So we know that our government gets involved with things like that, but it's just crazy. We're spending $7 billion to stop this production. Meanwhile, their production rate is going up. And now Afghanistan produces 90% of the world's opium. But then you've got the people who get addicted to them. They crush up the pills, snort them. They get addicted to heroin, injecting it, and it destroys a lot of lives as well. And our government's helping that out. It's mind-blowing to see how our country is willing to help put money in the pockets of people and others that want to destroy the American way of life. We're funding ISIS, we're doing all that, and once again, we're funding more drugs to be made, to be brought into our country to destroy American lives. So continue watching our reports on Infowars.com. I'm Joe Biggs.
Introducing the first proprietary oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, OxyPowder, backed by FDA-approved phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials. All the toxins from the air, the food, the water, ultimately ends up in the gut or affects the gut. Take your health into your own hands and start cleansing your body today with OxyPowder. Secure your OxyPowder today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Yeah. All right, you're back live with Pete Wichert and Johnny B. Good.
Yeah, buddy.
And this is The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. And if the news hasn't proven that as an absolute fact by now, then you're an idiot.
I love that. Straight to the point, no sugarcoating.
And again, I'd like to say thank you to Biggs and
always.
Basically, he took up a lot of John's questions.
But I don't mind. It's Joe Biggs.
So we got.
What do we got?
2 questions left of the fan questions, because 3 were for Joe. The other one was the Pete Santelli.
Well, I'm always excited. Let's do
I
this.
accidentally combined 2 questions, so sorry.
I don't care. It's Joe Biggs. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, John.
Hey, as long as it's Joe, that's the only, it's the only person. Joe's,
otherwise, John would be like,
oh, I'd be pissed. But it's
punching
Joe, so I understand fully. I understand fully. Well, let's do these. Let's do this. We'll just call it question number whatever. We'll just call it question number
Question
whatever.
number 4.
We'll go 4. I don't like 4, but we'll go with 4. All right. What is your take on the weed shop showing up near your part of the city, Pete?
Well, I don't see them.
I would like to see them.
I know what this person's referring to. I like it because there's literally, if you go down the block right here, it looks like there's a lot of it's like ghost town. You know? It's a lot of empty buildings. But my question is, where the hell is the doctors to prescribe the people this? So it's very good in the sense that they're opening up. It's good for the economy. It's good, but where's the doctors?
No, I agree with you.
It's not, a shop's no good unless you have a doctor to prescribe the marijuana medically for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, we got a call.
Seth.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh man, John's gonna kill you. You just interrupted.
Oh hell
you just interrupted the Truth Seeker social media questions.
My favorite part of the show.
Well, let's see. You can still keep running through that stuff there, Johnny.
So how do you feel about the weed shop?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I was wondering if we could talk real quick here about a couple of those
wait.
After Johnny's questions.
Okay. But how do you feel about the medical marijuana dispensaries shops showing up around our studio here? Do you think that is a good thing for the economy? Do you think that it's a scam just to get people to, get registered? Because we don't see any doctors, offices anywhere. So how do you feel about that, Seth?
Oh, okay. I mean, well, personally, I think it's a step in the right direction there. Personally, I'm for decriminalization rather than the medical legalization there or whatever. But whatever works, really. I mean, it has been legalized here in Washington State and in Colorado, which is fairly interesting to see people just be able to show their driver's license and just buy weed over the counter there. But I don't know. I think it's a step in the right direction, but I'd like to see people in your area push a little bit harder than they are currently. Like I said,
the biggest problem with that I see is there's no actual doctor. They have a place like specialist doctors for that. There's none. And there's all these laws that basically make it really, really hard for anyone to get it. And then at any point, the feds could come in and
with the federal laws,
yeah. So it's just like you said. It's a good point. It's a step in the right direction. I think that's the answer to the question.
Sure.
All right, John.
We can go
Let's
with that
move
one.
on.
Last question.
I'll give my take, and then we'll have Seth give his.
Last one. Ooh. All right. This person, I asked you last week if you think O'Hare could be where a false flag happens, and now we have 2 different cases. Is this the beginning of the end? And what can we do to stop the airplanes from Liberia?
Well,
yeah.
No, actually, John and I just on break were reading off his phone, and what was it? 5?
4 cases. It was
5, I thought.
Let me hold on.
Yeah. So literally, there is some really. We've been pointing out. You're speaking to the choir with O'Hare, okay? Basically, we've been pointing out the random construction, the underground facilities, and there's 4.
4.
So now there's 4 flights in one day. In one day, 4 flights, like different separate flights of people with Ebola symptoms that have since been disappeared into regular hospitals. And that is crazy. To me, that is a false flag, and you're right, because there shouldn't be flights coming in, and that's what makes it a false flag, is that they're literally letting it happen. It's like a stand down in a sense. And my take on that is that it is ironic that 4 different people on different flights all come into O'Hare on the same day. That's pretty crazy. How do you feel about that, Seth Davis, from 2 Real News?
personally, I don't know on that one, because there's so much stuff when they go to the Ebola-like symptoms there or whatever that start out looking like a common cold or flu or whatever. Almost anybody can just have that, because you've got a little bit elevated temperatures body-wise. You got snot bubbling or something like that. I mean, you might just be sick.
Yeah. Regular,
yeah, exactly.
And
then some government assholes just whiskey off to the torture chamber. I mean, the freedom chamber there.
And it's not even right. It's the TSA that are technically screening, correct?
Technically, but then again, I'm also wondering if those guys wouldn't be like prime vectors for Ebola if something were to actually happen. So it kind of makes me question the very effectiveness of them in the first place.
Danny, why was there a beep?
Why is there a ding?
It's his graphic failing to come up.
Okay, that's fine. As long as not.
Dude, you know what they did to us? They sabotaged our show at the beginning. They literally put up. I have no idea. Some kind of weird. It's not like how we do the live events. It was a screen I've never seen.
Yeah.
So they tried to.
Well, that was weird. I missed the first 20 minutes of you guys with Biggs there. I thought you were still hadn't started the show though. Like.
Yeah.
No, like 40 minutes into it, but apparently you were 20 minutes into the show.
We had to
what
switch.
the hell?
Started a whole new link over. I have no idea. It's like someone hacked into my YouTube account and messed with all the settings, like there's shit I never
Things
seen.
are strange.
Yeah, I mean,
well, if that wraps up our takes here on the questions, unless Johnny'd like to add his 2 cents on that.
No, I'm good. I'm good on it. We can go on.
We're just hoping and praying that they don't have Ebola, but
indeed,
you know, I think, and I reached out to We Are Change Chicago, that we need to do a petition, hand it to the state governor, your alderman, whoever you can, and like literally at least get out of Midway and O'Hare the flight stop from Western Africa and Liberia.
Well, we need to stop. We need to stop our coming in here. Everyone else has stopped.
I mean, if each state does something, then we could do it. But don't rely on the feds to.
However, I think that you're trying to a certain degree, get that sort of an outreach there to make people want to shut down the borders, shut down the trade, shut down everything, and then the fascists get to step in there. And I know there's some people that would argue that they're not fascists, they're socialists, but it really doesn't matter what title you give it. Is a rose as sweet as if it were called by any other name? I mean, really, it's the same damn thing.
Yep. So, Seth, any interesting news stories you have for us,
brother?
As
far as this here, we've got Canada, or Ottawa. What people are going ape here for. The 23rd, we got today here at 4:56 Eastern Time PM today here. We had breaking out a last update as this out of CBS News. The title is "New Details Emerge on Canada Shooting Suspect." Quote. As the investigation of Wednesday's shooting rampage in Ottawa continues, a U.S. law enforcement official told CBS News that the Canadian government was investigating whether the suspect was in contact with known militants in Syria, possibly the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS.
Wow.
How cheesy is this sounding already? Royal Canadian Mounted Police Commissioner Bob Paulson said Thursday that Michael Zahaf Bibu, whatever that is Bebo? Is he related to Bieber? I mean, I don't know there. Anyway,
Justin
recently
Bieber?
applied for a passport. What's up?
Yeah, are you talking about Justin Bieber?
Biebler?
Yeah,
Biebler.
You better watch out. That's
The
Floyd
Biebler-Els,
Mayweather's
dude.
best
Those are
friend,
bad,
man. Floyd Mayweather and him have been boxing, bro. You better
No,
watch.
I'm scared. I'm shaking in my boots. You already can tell. Let's
Fuck
see.
Justin
It's going
Bieber.
here pretty quick.
for the record.
And authorities now believe he intended to go to Syria, so they're still playing that game because, of course, they'll be like, he wanted to fight for ISIS and Assad at the same time. I guarantee you they'll do some crazy shit like that. But the passport was revoked of his motivation, the passport was part of his motivation. His application was not rejected. His passport was not revoked. Paul said he was waiting to get it, and there was an investigation going on to determine whether or not he would get a passport. Police swarmed the streets after a gunman shot dead a soldier guarding the National War Memorial, reports CBS News correspondent Jim Axelrod. Witnesses said the man then stormed Canada's Parliament, where he was killed. This is the crux here of this story, and then we can go on to another one here real quick. On Thursday morning, Ottawa police said they were confident that only one gunman took part in the attack after previously saying that other shooters may have been involved.
So now they're saying it's one, probably because they can't find him.
Who knows though, Pete? Because if they could have been playing that up, they could actually have had multiple players there, as in like a false flag thing that they just aren't going to talk about anymore, not because they haven't found him, but because he's one of theirs.
Yeah.
And this
that's
guy
why
could literally
they
be a cutout that was completely set up, which, as we know, the
He's
FBI
hiding in the
granted,
Parliament building.
Canada's equivalent, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, have done multiple stuff similar to that.
Yeah.
Because after all, they've had, what was it, Infowars even here did a thing on it, Flashback. Royal Canadian Mounted Police staged false flag violence to frame Canadians.
Yeah.
This was the thing they had of, what was it, a training drill of violent, quote, anarchists who were actually undercover police.
Exactly. And yeah, and it looked real as hell too, how they
yeah,
do
except
these.
you look at their boots.
Yep.
And then they have the exact same boots. And I'm like,
They're wearing police, like,
they do call them Nazi jack boots for a reason.
Yep. Yeah. And that's
and of course,
fitting.
here, just to add this, in USA Today earlier today here, a couple hours ago, Canadian Prime Minister vows to strengthen police powers.
See, so it's almost like a 9/11, like
yeah, but you notice it's Canada, so it's only like technically 2 people are dead.
Yeah.
And you'd think there'd been like a nuclear bomb go off or something. People are acting like a bunch of freaking psychopaths over this shit, which makes me think it's even more staged because they had everything ready right at the point of, and you notice the same terms coming out. I noticed here on one of them, they describe him, of the people like on site there, as a white guy wearing a quote unquote white and black checkered or black and white checkered Palestinian type headscarf. I was like, Palestinian type headscarf. I like how they already have that.
Time out. Wait, so that he was a white guy in a polka dot or a striped jacket? Like
no. With a headscarf, a black and white. What are those? Well, what they've gotten a stupid picture of him.
And they don't give a height,
him on the
weight,
ISIS
nothing
site
like that. Just that. So that's basically, I see. That's
It's very set up.
that sounds like they're just trying to name a patsy. Blame it on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're also trying to pick a thing there of the meme they have set up of specifically the white guy, the homegrown terrorist, while also trying
linking
to
with
Syria or not Syria, Palestine. Well, and Syria technically, because they're trying to link Syria, ISIS there to him, but they're also trying to link Palestine to him because then they're like, see, he's got that Palestinian type stuff. You know what I mean? If you ever seen any of those Palestinians, those are the real terrorists. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. And Saudi Arabia too, with the funding of these people. I mean, and then we have people like Joe Biden who will sit there and meet with these people.
Yeah.
And then bring up like, oh, well, we didn't arrest
John McCain, they have the pictures of him there with the ISIS guys. They have the pictures
we've
of him
covered
with
him so much. John McCain is a piece of shit. Okay.
Well, it's amazing he's not in prison right now.
And
I mean, times even in U.S. history.
To criticize Rand Paul for not meeting ISIS. How stupid is this guy? But it shows how ignorant we are as a
it shows how
society.
controlled the system is.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
he literally
we aren't ignorant there, Pete, to a lot of this stuff. What's being done about it?
Nothing, and he literally said that, like, I know them. He doesn't.
How dare he say that stuff and criticize me for talking to them?
That
you know Akbar Abu Marzakali?
I know Bin Laden personally, so don't talk about
I know Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi or whatever. Me and him are homies from way back.
We tight. We tight.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? yeah, it's crazy. This. I mean, honest to God, like, why would they do that? I wish they would have just murdered him. I'm sorry. But,
no, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, that's
I
what he gets for going to meeting with him.
Have arrested them under their common law there or whatever. However, the fact is, most of those guys have connections to everything from England to the United States, depending on who they are and who set them up and everything. Because they could be a Chechen or a Chechen national. They could be a whatever Syrian national or an Iraqi national or a Turkish national or whatever. They're Saudi Arabian national. However, the fact is, a lot of these people have dual citizenship and connections to the U.S. State Department, to British intelligence, to French intelligence.
Screening at airports.
Well, technically, Snowden had that leak there that was the French report that had Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi as Shimon Elliott, a known
Israeli
operative. Yeah.
That if people just understand
well,
what
he's
you
in
just
that picture
said
with
right
John
there.
McCain and those guys.
Yeah.
He's actually the least.
So you have a Jewish guy
You can see him.
with
He looks sinister as
McCain.
shit in the background, just walking by.
Yeah, let's just think about that for a second, Seth. You have a Jewish guy who hates Muslims growing up.
Yep.
With John McCain, a presidential candidate, and
Who's part of the Republican Party, which is controlled by AIPAC and all sorts of different
meeting
stuff
with the terrorists, taking pictures, sitting down together.
Well, actually, when you really think about it, it makes more sense than really anything else.
The truth is stranger than fiction.
Well, it's really not that actually strange when you think about it, because who has the most to gain from any of these situations?
True.
Really, when you think about what the hell would some goofy ass guys in Muslim clothes there or Arabic local clothes there and the ridiculous garb and stuff and the ridiculous speech and everything, what would they have to gain from cutting off people's heads and sending videos to the specific people that had staged videos before of chemical weapons attacks and stuff? And then those specific people take that and then put it all over the news and everything, and oh gosh, we got to invade them. You don't think they're smart enough to realize that the only way that they would actually win and get what they wanted is to pretty much use a public relations campaign to make themselves seem good, like what the American government does or the British government does.
It's not like, hey, look how crazy you are, come kill us. You know,
well, exactly. You got it. And why? Yeah, and they're, look how crazy we are. We're going to kill your citizens. And I mean, Sentinel brought that up as a great point. Why is it that? And I'm not even a fan of interventionism in any case. And I think actually the reason all these different groups have been killing each other is because they're armed and funded by Western and Eastern interests. Because technically, there's
So
Russian and Chinese interests on their own blocks for their own thing that are trying to stabilize these specific countries as well. And that's why sometimes there are, I think we talked about this before, there are organic movements that start up among these people there, but
they don't get the media coverage.
Yeah, it's like Hong Kong right now. How that one of the leaders of the Chinese news is that one of the leaders of the Hong Kong protest has connections to the U.S. State Department through the Venetian Macau, which is owned by the Las Vegas, the Sands Hotel and Casino, or the Sands Corporation, owned by Sheldon Adelson.
That's on Adelson. That guy.
Yeah, and that guy has connections with, technically through stuff like that, the mafia and everything, as well as through AIPAC, which technically is the Jewish American Mafia, and you connect that with the Anti-Defamation League, and then all sorts of other stuff with the American mob of the 1950s and everything that has moved into the Cleveland Mafia, which has connections with the Las Vegas Mafia and their own, like, quote-unquote, legal mob as far as having a take of all the, quote-unquote, legal money that goes through Vegas.
Yeah, I never even heard of that guy. That's how good he is.
Well, and our good, nice old acquaintance there, everybody's favorite, the nice clown in charge over there where you guys are at there, Rahm Emanuel.
Clown,
he's got his own inroads and connections, and there's a reason he's even
he's a piece of shit. He's not a clown.
Even where he is,
you're being nice when you say
that's
clown.
too nice to him.
It's way too nice.
He's an evil piece of shit.
Dirtbag, this literal criminal.
Yeah, that's more fitting.
Yeah, I can go with that one.
That's fitting.
Literal, actual, should be in prison right now with some dude named Bubba. Because there's no reason he should be out on the streets, much less running the show in Chicago.
Yeah,
that's outrageous, man.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to give up. He's going to be like Daly. He's going to stay in forever.
Well, technically,
unless I run against him.
His daddy and stuff, he's got connections to Jewish terrorists.
yeah. Wayne Madsen, who's going to be on again with us on next Saturdays, will be able to give his take on. I'm going to go even deeper in the manual because personally, I think he has a lot of power even over Obama.
Yeah, well, he does. In terms of stature and whatever you'd say, presence and lineage, there are a lot of people that stack up above Obama. He's actually just a good face man that they could put out as a PR campaign, essentially. And that's one of my main things as far as how you know that ISIS or ISIL or the new one that I did the big article on there, Khorasan and all that, what those guys really were.
Seth, we just found out that the next show they were going to supposedly be doing their show from a haunted house. So we got Danny,
what do we got? 5 minutes?
Put up exactly about how much. So shit, we got 2. We got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Just stay on. any crazy breaking news out of like Canada, anything, you know, big Ebola things, anything?
At the moment, we don't have any super huge breaking news. I would like to add, though, that what you were talking about earlier there with Biggs, I saw a thing. I was talking with our buddy Sentinel over there in Ukraine right now about that video with the little girls dropping F-bombs and all that stuff. And you'd be surprised the amount of flack I've took from these so-called, well, I already know what they are, trendies of self-hating white males and like fake Gloria Steinem talking point, repeating, regurgitating, whatever you want to call them, so-called females that are empowered in being feminine while actually hating women that fulfill traditional gender roles and just hating men in general that actually have a spine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, because it's funny because they think that it's so cool and empowering with the little girls dropping all that shit when they're quoting talking points that have been debunked repeatedly as far as like the gender pay gap and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that like men take more dangerous jobs overall.
I shouldn't
men
have to fuck to get paid.
Yeah, and it's like, well,
coming from a
you shouldn't have to, and you don't, because you know,
Yeah.
prostitution.
John
The fact
hasn't
that you're in
seen
the
it
United
yet.
States is just like, you know, hey, maybe you would if you were in some third world country, but that's not the case because, you know, these terrible male-dominated patriocentric society is just so bad.
Yeah, no, I'm getting so sick of that too. And then they use children. Like it reminds me of a sketch
I don't.
by the whitest
I'm not
kid,
down
you know,
as Big said. I'm not
Kid
down with all
Beer.
these self-hating people, and I don't care if it's self-hating man or self-hating white person or black person or whatever. Don't hate yourself because of who you are or whatever. The powers that be want you to hate yourself over all this bullshit and want people all divided. And as you were talking about that stupid ass Pete Santilli guy earlier, I'm just like, Pete who? Last time I checked, there's only one Pete in talk radio there, and that's Pete Wichert.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you.
You know
You
what
hear
I'm
that,
saying?
Santilli?
Love it. Love it.
Hey, before you start with Biggs, you gotta conquer Pete Wichert, man. And you ain't even doing that. You ain't doing shit. Come say that stuff about Biggs to our face, and you
Don't even come near Giant Be Good, I swear.
you'll never see a damn show again.
I'll make you disappear.
All right, brothers.
But-
I got to run here, and it's been great getting
But
to catch up a little bit
would
there.
you tomorrow? If I'm not sure if I'm going on the Milwaukee radio station, I'm pretty sure I am. Corey
Oh,
said
the
I was.
Rundown Live. Yes,
The
absolutely.
Rundown
Everybody
Live.
check out Conspiracy Wire and Wide Awake America, the Rundown Live. Check out our good buddy Corey Washington there with Average Liberator, Dan Badandi with Truth Radio, and Scott Sentinel with Truth Sentinel.
And
on
I'm
YouTube there.
pretty sure that I'm gonna be on tomorrow night. So check.
If you want
check
to do
it
any
out at
new
8
stuff,
o'clock.
we can work together on something there, Pete. If
Sounds
we
good.
can finally figure out the technical aspects of
We'll
all
go
this.
Google. We'll go Google Plus Hangouts.
Right on.
I got it planned. But all right, Seth. Thanks for calling in and bringing some news in.
Always happy to help, brother. God bless.
God bless
God
you.
bless you, brother.
Call you later, brother.
Peace.
All right. I
Let's
guess
wrap this
yeah,
up.
we got to get off. We're already pushing time limits here. I'd like to thank, all the fans. Remember, email me, Pete Wichert at att.net for advertisements and questions, fan questions. Giant Be Good. We'll get to them. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this Thursday broadcast on October 23rd of 2014. And remember, the truth is stranger than fiction. The question is, can you handle the truth?
I love it.